Hello, my name is Charmaine Wilson. I'd like to welcome you to my blog called Spirit Matters. And today I'd like to approach the subject of anniversaries and birthdays and how you might expect to feel as you approach them and how you might expect to handle it as you approach them. I have always found that, particularly in the early days of grief, that approaching the anniversaries and birthdays was incredibly hard. It was almost like I expected everything to happen exactly as it had happened. The first year, I have to say, had to be the hardest of any of my griefs. It was quite amazing how you just find yourself crumbling to tears at the drop of a hat. Anything up to a month before the actual anniversary or birthday that's coming along. The second year seems to be a little bit easier in its own right, and the third year, again, a different battle because it seems so long since things have happened, and then so on and so on it goes. I have to tell you, though, that eventually it does get a lot easier, and the days will come up to you quite by surprise, and you will find yourself smiling at the thought that you once had something so special with that person. But this is not the same as the early days. The early days can be quite harrowing and dark as you come up to these anniversaries. There's a lot of people who do different things for the anniversaries and birthdays. I have known of people who have sent balloons off, butterflies off, all types of different things to celebrate the birth or else commemorate the anniversary of the person they loved who's passed. Some people have cake. Some people choose to do absolutely nothing on that day. But whatever you choose to do has to be normal for you, and don't let anybody force you into doing something you don't want. If you don't want to have birthday cake on your child's birthday, don't. Simply don't. It really is up to you. There is no right or wrong here. One thing I do find particularly good at Christmas is to put a small edible gift underneath the Christmas tree. I think that's a wonderful, wonderful thing to do. Because then as a family unit you can share that Christmas gift, depending on the age, whether it's a drink of alcohol, whether it's some type of food substance that they might have loved. Share that amongst the family, because believe it or not, the amount of times I've had readings and the spirits come through, say, particularly after Christmas, they said, you know what, at Christmas time they got my favourite chocolates and they scoffed a lot right in front of me. And you better believe that they had spirit jewel on their shoulder. And that's what they say to me. The spirits do watch us at Christmas, and they do watch us on their anniversaries and birthdays, particularly to see how we're going to cope. Now, it is so natural to start feeling bad around those times. It really is. And you just get lower and lower, and you don't even know why half the time until you realise it's that day coming up. You know, just go with it, you know. I actually suggest that if you are thinking you're going to have a hard time around the anniversaries or birthdays, this is the time to A, lay off alcohol, and I mean that. B, do not take intoxicants if you can help it, no matter what they are. C, get out there and walk and exercise and get rid of that grief energy, because it's going to come up pretty strong again, and this is what you have to expect. D, meditate if you can, and if you're lucky, you may get some beautiful signs from your spirit people as you meditate. If you know of a really great medium around anniversaries and birthdays, you know, sometimes really ideal times to have a reading if you're lucky enough to get in at that time. I find that for some reason there seems to be a strength around that time for the spirits. I don't know why, I can't explain that, but there just seems to be. So you just have to take my word for that. The thing about anniversaries and birthdays, they're going to happen for the rest of your life while you're still here. And eventually, one day your anniversary and birthday is going to affect the people that you love, because you'll be gone. You see, we're all going to the same place. And whether you like it or not, you are going to meet your person eventually one day again. You are going to meet again. In the meantime, I think the message from Spirit is to enjoy your life. And if you want to celebrate their birthday, they probably would appreciate that, especially if you're making a little bit of a deal out of them. On the anniversaries, it's up to you how you treat that. But you know what? That is their birthday into heaven. And it was the day they went home. I've heard it said by someone not long ago. They said to me, that they believe that earth is actually the dream and heaven is the real life. But I can't tell you that for sure. I can only guess at that. So even though their anniversary is a sad day for us, in actual fact, and whether you like to hear this or not, it is an eventful day for them. And their birthdays, an eventful day for us all. So how you tend to treat these days is up to you. But I have to tell you, for the first 5 to 10 years after a major death, such as a child, a partner, or a parent that you're very close to, you may find this particular time very hard. That's okay. That's what happens. You're not going crazy. Just long as for the other 363 days of the year that you are trying your very, very hardest to get on with living in their honour. Thank you. I hope this blog helps you just a little bit.